Welcome to my channel Usability. Today I'll be talking about the second part of heuristics with another quick and simple examples which would help to clear your concepts more better. So in my last two videos I have covered the first four heuristics. Today I'll be talking about the next three heuristics. If by chance you have missed my last two videos, you can refer the YouTube URL in the description. So let's start with the fifth heuristics, that is error prevention. So what is error prevention? Error prevention means your application or your web app, it should be designed so carefully that it should prevent a user before a problem occurs in the first place. So let's understand these heuristics more better with a very simple example, that is a login screen. In this screen, a user is trying to log in on his screen with no data field in username and password input field, but the user is trying to click on the login button in the first instance. Why? Because that button is already filled with some primary color, which attracts the user just to click on that button, because that button is something in a focal point for the user. So at the first instance, your login screen should look something like this as per the best usability practices across the world. So if you see in this screen, the login button is kind of a disabled state where the user's focal point would be more on the input field rather than on the login button. Once the user types or inputs his data in the username and password, at that time, the login button should be active, which the user knows, okay, this is something what I have filled the username password. Now I need to click on the login button. I hope that this example would have helped you to understand the fifth heuristics, that is error prevention, much better. So now let's jump to the sixth heuristics, that is recognition rather than recall. So being a UX designer or an usability expert, your focus should always be on that how can we reduce the cognitive load on users' mind, or how can we reduce the memory load on users' mind while they take any action on your application or a website. So there are plethora of examples to explain all the heuristics. But for this video, let's see a very simple example of a user shopping online. So in this example, the user is adding the product to her cart. Once she's done with adding the product to her cart, she goes to the payment process. In payment process, she adds a debit card to her payment method, in which she fills all the card details along with CVV code and along with the expiry date. Obviously, for the first time, user needs to refer the actual debit card or credit card to see all the details. Once user is done with all this process, the user can save that card number. So the next time when user trying to do a payment, so the user does not need to fill all the details again, that is card number or expiry date. Only the user has to do enter his CVV number. That's it. So this was the real magic of the sixth heuristics, that is recognition rather than recall. It can be used at any place in your application depending your context. So let's talk about the seventh heuristics, that is flexibility and efficiency of use. Your application or a website should cater to both kind of audiences, that is a novice user or an experienced user. Be designed in such a way that any user using your system for the first time, it can be the, as I said earlier, novice user or experienced user, the experience should be same. So let's see another simple example by which you would able to understand these seven heuristics, that is flexibility and efficiency of use. Here you see a user is going to a store and he has purchased some item in a store. Now he's going to a bill desk to make his payment. While making his payment, there are a lot of options to pay, that is by credit card, by cash and other stuffs. But when the user has option or there's a flexibility in your system that the user can use, so user chooses to pay by the QR code method, which is very easy to use and it's very quick. That is what this heuristics meant about. It should be quick, it should be accelerated, and it should be easy to understand to the user. So your system should be designed in such a way that the user has multiple options to do the same action. So here user can do a payment, but there are multiple methods by card, by QR code, or by cash. So design your system in such a way that it should be easy to understand to the user, no matter he's a novice or an experienced user. The experience should be same, easy and fast, and at the same time it should be flexible. So that's it guys for today's video. In my upcoming video, I'll be talking about the last three heuristics, that is number 8, 9 and 10. If you guys have liked my video, you can hit the like button and subscribe to my channel UXable. Thank you guys.